Hey, do you want to lead out? Let's just go up the way we normally do, like we're heading towards Israel Canyon, okay? I can lead. Okay, we're off. That wind is crazy. Woo. I'm on a 2022 FSE 250E by GPX Moto. This is the super simple, air-cooled, carbureted, just, old school bike. And it's so far been an absolute barrel of monkeys. Just fun as could be. I am super sick, wouldn't even be out riding, but it's my son's birthday. This is what he really wanted to do, was go on a little ride. He's back behind me. Maybe I'll slow down, let him pass. Anyway. It's a throaty little 4-stroke for a 250. I love it. Pulls like a tractor. It's crazy windy today. It's been mid-80s this week, and then a cold front blew in last night. Today, I don't think we made it out of the 40s. I was out trying to work earlier today, and yep, he's still back there. Anyway, I was trying to work here. Here's the view. Just a little bit of it. Trying to spray earlier today. I had a couple ones I absolutely had to do, so I took a bunch of ibuprofen and some Tylenol and went to town with that. Got a couple of lawns done, and then it started snowing where I was. Okay, I'm done. May 20th. I don't need to be, out working in the snow. Not really, right? A little air there. Alright. Really honestly shouldn't be riding. Like, one of those things where I woke up this morning and my fingers hurt. Like, my back hurt, my feet hurt, everything hurt. Like, if I had a muscle, it hurt. It was crazy. I don't even know what was up with it. Anyway. I don't really know where I'm going right now. I haven't decided. We're just riding around. And these roads are fun. They just go all over. Honestly, don't know. I think I've been on this one before. Anyway, but this bike is just all sorts of fun. It's got a ton of torque. Very torquey. It's only a 250. And my background on bikes, first bike was a Hodaka Ace 100. If you know what that is, you probably are due for your colonoscopy. You good? Okay, you lead. Just when you get down to where it tees, turn right. Anyway, so yeah, I had a Hodaka Ace 100. And then I got that bike for free. Saw it in some guy's garage. Asked him how much he wanted for it. He's like, if you can get that thing to start, you can have it. I learned a few simple mechanic things from a cousin and was able to clean the carburetor out in the plug and get it to fire up and rode it home. Then, oh gosh, late 90s, I had a Yamaha XT500. That was a lot of fun. Not my favorite bike. I felt like they tried to go halfway between, it was a dual sporter and an enduro, but it didn't seem like it was really good at either one. that makes any sense. Not really a great road bike, and not really a great off-road bike. It's kind of there. Then I only had that for like a year or two, and then 2007 or 8, I got my dream bike from my childhood. When I was growing up, neighbor guy across the street had a 78 DT 400. I thought that was the coolest bike ever. Street legal, 2-cycle, just, I mean, cool. I loved the Yamaha yellow at the time. And so I picked up one of those for 400 bucks. Absolutely loved it. But I had to sell it about 2 years later, probably a year and a half later. I had to sell it to pay for my daughter's foot surgery. When your daughter has a growth on her foot and they don't know what it is, you got to take care of that. That's not something you can just ignore, you know. And so you don't want to crowd right here. Anyway, so I sold it, let it go, and I mean, made a little profit on it, but that sure was a fun bike. Long story short, that was 2009. I sold that, and it's 2022. I picked this up 2 weeks ago. I like this bike better than either of my other bikes in every way. And admittedly, you know, those are older bikes, but the suspension on this bike, it just eats rocks and bumps. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, it just absorbs them right up, man. Not just, you know, that I like it and stuff, which I do. So far, I have nothing but praise for this bike and the way it's set up. I mean, I haven't done really that much to it to change anything. That was third gear I did. It's just got so much pull. Anyway, there's spray right there. I put some wraparound handguards on it because I'm not that great of a rider. Like my second day on the bike, I dumped it, climbed a really steep hill, and got to the top. Went to put my foot down, didn't realize how uneven the terrain was, and there was no ground there. I just kind of like, whoa, fell over. And anyway, it was fun. It's great, great experience. So I scuffed up the lever and the clutch lever there. Anyway, and then I put a tusk shifter on just because the stock shifter's really short and it sits pretty high. If you have riding boots on, it's really hard to hit. Really hard to hit. Anyway, so I did that, the wraparound guards, and then because I damaged my clutch lever, I got this quick adjust lever right here. I think I paid 19 bucks for it at USA Motor Toys, which is the local dealer for these. Ooh. Alright, look at that. It's just idling in first gear. It's like tractor, 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 tractor. Oh. Alright. Wanted to go over real fast just some of the reasons why I bought the GPX, why I chose GPX. Because I did look at other bikes. First reason was probably bang for your buck. We had bought the kids a couple of little Pitster Pro 125s for Christmas, and I have been, and still completely, totally impressed with those bikes. I cannot believe what they will do and how much fun they are. Those bikes get dumped all the time. My kids, well, and me, we'd go ride them in the snow, and you know, you hit a patch of ice and it's like you're going down, you know. And they just keep going. Like literally, we haven't broken anything on those bikes yet. They just keep going. I'm going a little slow here and there. It's funny, I actually lost a shoe on this trail a few days ago. I was wearing riding boots, when I go riding up in the mountains, I'm throwing a pair of just like lightweight running shoes in my bag. So if we see something cool that we want to explore, can't go on the bikes, I've got a way to do that. And one of my shoes came out of my bag. It's weird, none of my tools came out, big heavy tools, none of them came out, but a shoe, which unfortunately is like slate gray. Basically the same color as every rock here. Alright, so bang for your buck. I mean, I've got a killer suspension on this bike, way better suspension than the similar bikes, you know, similar price range bikes that I looked at. This bike was 4,400 bucks. Out the door it was like 4,700 tax and stuff. And the other bikes I could get, once I see something looks like my shoe. The other bikes that I could get in that price range, nothing like this suspension. This suspension eats bumps. It loves bumps. So there was that. Another reason was dealer support. Looking at some of the other, like if I looked at other China bikes, which, you know, to get anywhere near the kind of features, you know, for the money, you've got to go to the Chinese bikes. You're not going to get that in a Jap bike. And with those, no dealer support. And you know, you talk to guys, listen to that. I should have downshifted, but I didn't. Man, I just love that throaty 4-stroke. Reminds me of a big, you know, those big thumpers, like back in the 80s, like the 500cc. Well, like my XT500. Anyway, so with this bike, I had dealer support, and I heard a couple of horror stories. People, you know, would buy one of these other brands, get it off Amazon or some other, you know, mail order thing, and there would be some issues, and there was no support. You know, that Amazon would say, oh no, that's the seller, the dealer, and the dealer's like, no, that's Amazon. And so even just basic warranty things weren't being honored at all. And I didn't want to step in that quagmire at all. GPX has at least 21 brick and mortar dealers in North America right now. Probably more, but that's how many I know of. And that's awesome. That is, you know, that's a night and day kind of difference. Let's come up here and wait for Bray for a little bit. Place where people shoot, obviously. There he is. So, dealer support, and then also community support. Community support was huge. Should we turn back? Should we turn back so you can go get your skateboard? Yeah. Okay, let's head down. You want to lead out? Okay. Alright, that'll be good. That'll let him set the pace. He's a good rider. He really is. And those little bikes are amazing. But those little wheels, you do feel the bumps a little more than you do on this. Anyway, so dealer support and then community support. Some of the other bikes I looked at, I don't know how to say it other than like there's a bit of a snob factor. Like you ask what other people perceive as maybe a stupid or a newbie question, and you know, you get put down a little. Because I bought those two little pit bikes, I had been a member of the GPX Pitster Pro Facebook group since before Christmas. I joined that group when I first started looking at the bikes, and long story short, like, no one's like that there. Like, you can ask the dumbest question and people will just try and answer it for you. They'll be like, oh yeah, like what you want is this, or you know, they'll try and be really helpful, and I like that. I like that community, and one of the things that virtually everyone that gets these bikes, they're like, oh yeah, like, well, I had a problem once with, you know, Picket. I broke this or that. You break stuff on dirt bikes, and I know there'll be people like, well, maybe on China bikes. I know of a guy, I don't know him personally, but he's in a Facebook group I'm in, the Utah Dirt Bike Rider Association or something, and a brand new 2022 Husky screaming along a trail, hit a giant rock, broke the thing in half. I mean, clearing it in half. Like, you break things. If you're off-roading, you break things. And Anyway, yeah, people will break things or whatever, and so they'll reach out to GPX and they get parts overnighted, and you know, no problem. I had failed to probably check some of the screws that hold on the heat shields on one of the little Pitster Pros there, and so I'd lost 2 of the little screws, little bolts or whatever, and so I went in and asked if I could buy some. They just give me a bag of them. Like, oh, here you go. I'm like, well, what do I owe you? I don't know. Don't worry about it. Well, can I pay you something? $1. You know, I could have just walked out with the things for free. That's the kind of support I want. So you got great community support, great dealer support, and great things for your buck. And that's basically the 3 reasons why I went with the GPX. Now, I did look at some other bikes. I'm pretty cheap. I never bought a brand new bike. My Hodaka I got for free. My XT500 I got that for a song. And to follow his prints, I'm not sure which way Bray went. I think he went this way. I'm pretty sure this is him. Sorry, I was just talking, not really paying attention. I should probably shut up and ride. Anyway, I looked at some of those other bikes because, like, I'm cheap, you know. Most I'd ever paid for a motorcycle is $500 before this. And my wife, bless her heart, what a saint, is turning 50, and she's like, I want you to have something that you've always wanted, and, you know, something special, something you'll remember. And I'm like, okay, like, do I dare ask for a brand new bike? And so I kind of told her that is something I'd always wanted, but I realized it was a really big ticket item. She's like, get one. I don't care, like, get it. And when I found out I could get one of these for $4,700 out the door, I'm like, yeah. Now that does not include shipping. I went and picked it up and I assembled it. Assembly was super easy, super fast. If you are remotely mechanical, you can totally put together one of these bikes, no problem. Like, so far as special tools, this bike comes with a toolkit. I should show that. Maybe I'll unroll it and get a picture of it. But it comes with a toolkit, and the only other tool you would really need, you know, other than just, you know, basic tools like that you should already have, socket wrenches and stuff. Although it does come with sockets and a nice little, you know, one of those little quick wrenches, and so, like, but the only other thing you'd really need is a spoke wrench, which I already had. So, like, everything else comes in your toolkit, or like you should just have if you have some basic tools in your arsenal. And anyway, it's super easy to put together, and I wasn't too worried because I'd put together the 2 125s there, and, you know, the first one had probably taken me like 3 hours. I didn't know what I was doing really. The second one took like an hour and a half, and, you know, that included a phone conversation with my daughter for a half hour, you know. Anyway, that's pretty beautiful. That's where I live, Saratoga Springs, Utah. Don't move here though. Everyone and their dog is moving here. It's insane. Like, house prices have more than doubled in the last 4 years. It's totally nuts. I can't believe what people are paying for houses. A big influx of people coming from, mostly from California, but really from everywhere. But a lot from California, probably just because it's a very populous state and it's very close, and they're very messed up, you know, high taxes and high crime right now, all sorts of problems. Anyway, oh, let's watch Bray. I love watching him on that. Now, someone's going to point out, he's too big for that bike, and you're right. When I bought that bike 5 months ago, I'm not kidding you, he was seriously like 5 inches shorter than that. Kid grows like a weed. He just hit this growth spurt. I should have known, because, you know, his feet were already really big, like awkwardly big for his height. He's grown into them. Anyway, that's why I bought the GPX. That's why I went with it, and I have no regrets at all. So far, I love this bike. Like I said, on the road, I've taken it up to about 65. It did fine. It likes 55, 60 better, but it'll do 65 without, you know, excessive whining or, you know, too much noise or grief. Make sure he's clear. All right. I don't want to start coming down and realize that he is, you know, sideways halfway down it. That's a lot steeper than it looks. It's funny, I watched, before I bought this, watched lots of video reviews and stuff, different guys on their bikes. They'd be like, oh, this hill's really steep. It never looks steep on the camera. And then you record a few little hills and whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, you don't really get an appreciation for what's going on, you know, from the GoPro. All right, yeah, he's up there a ways. We can open it up here. Several times when I'm like, oh, I should downshift maybe, and I'm like, no, I want to hear that. Seriously, low RPMs when it's grunting, this motor sounds like Chuck Norris's libido or something. It's just like big grunty growly thing, you know, like it's angry or something.